and I listened to it. And I must say, I struggled through the President's address to maintain my attention on what was being said, because I had heard pretty much the same President's address the last time and the time before that and the time before that. And it was the same laundry list of things that the government has done. We have done this, we have done this, we have done this, 50 or 100 things that the government has done. And so while I was sitting there, I was thinking, okay, I am being critical about what is being said. And I am saying that this is not the type of President's address that should be delivered. Well, the question came to my mind, what type of address would an India Gathbandhan government deliver? How would that address be different than the address we heard? Because it's no point me saying that it is a laundry list and then not providing an alternative idea. And so today I would like to lay out some dimensions of what an alternative address would look like, what the India Gathbandhan would probably focus on, and where we would lay emphasis. The future of this country is going to be decided by the young men and women of this country, the youth of this country. So I think anything we say has to be addressed to them, has to be spoken to them. The first thing in front of us, and this is something I'm sure the Prime Minister would accept and pretty much everybody in this room will accept, is that even though we have grown fast, we are growing slightly slower now, but we are still growing. To tell all the youngsters of this country that there is a revolution taking place, an exciting revolution. The world is transforming completely. And the change that is taking place, at the heart of the change that is taking place, we are moving from the world of the internal combustion engine to the world of the electric motor. We are moving from petrol to batteries. We are moving wind, solar, potentially nuclear energy. So our entire way of moving is changing. And this is going to change every single thing. It is going to change warfare. It is going to change medical treatment. It is going to change education. It is going to change how we eat. It is going to change every single thing. Now, the last time there was a revolution, called the computer revolution, the government of India had a clear focus. We looked at that revolution. It was the Congress government. We looked at the revolution and we decided clearly that we are going to focus on the development of software. And we rode the wave of that revolution. And today you can see the result. I remember people laughing. I remember people laughing when the computer was being talked about. You mentioned Mr. Vajpayee. I respect Mr. Vajpayee, but Mr. Vajpayee gave a speech saying that computers are of no consequence to India. So, what is important when there is a revolution? What is important is that you understand what are the drivers of that revolution and where exactly do you need to focus, where exactly do you need to sit in that revolution. I said that this revolution is going to change everything. And I want the youngsters in this country to think about it. There is a war going on in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine is actually a war between the internal combustion engine and the motor, the electric motor. The electric motor is inside the drone, the engine is inside the tank. And if you look at what is going on in Ukraine, the tanks are dying by the thousands. And small little drones with electric motors, small batteries, not much bigger than that, are destroying the entire tank artillery infrastructure of both Ukraine and Russia. So the drone is the electric motor. The drone is the battery. The drone also needs to see. So the drone is a camera. In the same way, electric cars, the electric car is a motor. The electric car is batteries. The electric car is cameras. Robots are exactly the same thing. Robots are electric motors, multiple electric motors with cameras, with batteries. And this is what the revolution is going to look like. So there are basically 4 technologies that are driving this entire change in mobility. Electric motors, batteries, optics, and then on top of that, you can apply AI. Now people, I want to tell the youngsters of this country, people talk about AI. But it's important to understand that AI on its own is absolutely meaningless. Because AI operates on top of data. Without data, AI means nothing. And if we look at data today, there is one thing which is very clear.
सदन के पटल पे रखना आप
पानी
अनुरोध है लीडर अपोजिशन बोले हम लोग शांति से सुनेंगे ये आपका अधिकार है बोलने का मगर आप मन चाहे ऐसा सीरियस इशू पे कैसे बोल सकते हैं सीरियस मामला है आप सदन में बोलते हो फॉरेन मिनिस्टर का बात करते हो सीमा का ऑफिशियल वर्जन से हाथ करते हैं ऐसा मत बोलिए ये देश के लिए ठीक नहीं है आपको सीरियस होना पड़ेगा लीडर ऑपोजिशन ये गंभीर मामले को आप ऐसा
the prime minister has denied that Chinese forces are inside our territory, but for some reason our army keeps talking to the Chinese about their entry into our territory, and our chief of army staff has said that the Chinese are inside our territory. This is a fact. This is not invention, this is a fact. Now, but the reason China is inside our territory is important. Because people think that wars are fought between armies and their weapons. But the fact of the matter is that wars are fought by industrial systems. The fact of the matter is that China has an industrial system that is far stronger, far bigger than our industrial system. And that is why they have the guts to come inside this country. The reason China is sitting inside this country is because Make in India has failed. The reason China is sitting inside this country is because India is refusing to produce. And I am worried that India is going to give up this revolution to the Chinese once again. The reason I made this reference is because everything is connected. If and when we fight a war with China, we will be fighting with Chinese electric motors, Chinese batteries, Chinese optics,